So excited. You're all here today.
It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. We have
Hello, everybody.
ZofiaRennea, all the way over on our right. She's our powerful guest of magnitude today.
Ooh, I like that.
Double. Like my fingers have to jump over Janie.
Yeah, it's like
I can't even get my fingers right today.
One of these. And directly next to me is Janie Lynn.
Hey,
Janie from Arizona.
Oh, she's in my neck of the woods. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Wait till you find out she has a very special surprise for all of you today.
Yes.
Love surprises.
And then the bottom right corner.
The bottom right. That's hold on.
It's
Which way are you?
Sandrin. There it is.
Okay, I can do that. That's like straight down from me. Here we go.
Hi guys,
Joining us from South Africa.
from a stormy South Africa.
Yes, we're very excited that you made it today.
Yes. Welcome everybody.
You have an event coming up on Monday.
Yes, I do. A wonderful, wonderful psychic event on YouTube, 5 Eastern time. And yeah, it's with Leo Bonomo, who we all know, and amazing Claire, as well as an amazing American called Tamara Richardson. So
Nice.
On YouTube.
Suki and Leo have been guests on our High Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, they've been part of our tribe, and they're joining me on Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Love it. Love it. If you're joining us, please give StreamYard permission to post your face and your name so we can tell who you are and we can have fun and play with you. Love to have you. Tell us where you are watching us from. Where are you hailing from? So pop that in the comments and we will pull you up on the show. Just below me is Ashley Mulchin. Woohoo!
Hi, Ashley.
Hey, we're here.
Ashley is our breath specialist.
Ooh.
She's also our marketing manager. Didn't she do a good job, ZofiaRennea?
She did an amazing job. I'm over here taking notes and sending notes off to my VA. We need to start doing this.
So excited. Pop it in the chat comments. Let us know who you are, where you are calling in from. We would love, love, love to see you all. Give StreamYard that permission that we're looking for so we can bring you in up and live with us. Very, very, very nice. So excited. Give us a quick minute, everyone. Go to your Facebook page, and we are live now in your High Vibe Tribe. Go ahead and share this live stream right now to your page. Also share it in your groups. And tag us, tag yourself, tag a friend. Tag someone you'd like to meet, but you haven't met yet. We could start a dating service.
Oh my goodness.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I have some men I'd like to tag.
Oh, I found it.
I'm sure you would.
This would be a really good idea.
And I could vet them all for you.
Right. We could do like dating done differently. That's what we could call it.
Dating done differently. I like it.
Yes.
And I'm sure I'm not the only female who is looking for a male, or only male who could be looking for a female, or only female looking for female, or male looking for male, or undecided looking for another undecided. It's all good. We're all here for the party. So excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Let's see who is popping in with us already. Oh, my goodness. Kim Lovely, hello. Woohoo.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. So glad you're here with us. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Who else is here with us today? Carolyn.
Hi, Karen. My
Here.
sister. Hi.
That's Priscilla's sister. Hello, lovely. Glad you're here with us. Kim says, hope you all okay. We are okay, and those are hugs.
We so much better than okay.
I'm fabulous today.
Yes.
Love it, honey. Love it. Thank you for being here with us.
Okay, I finally got it all shared. Now I'll really be present.
You're over there and over here and everywhere.
All at the same time. So if I'm going, that's what was happening.
Your face was not frozen like that.
Okay, good. That's good. Because streaming services tend to do that. They're like, oh, that's like the least attractive expression she's ever made. Let's hold it there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of true. Sometimes it's like when your mother.
I think they have like an artificial intelligence back there that like looks for it. Oh, there's a micro expression that'll be just really intriguing.
Did your parents ever say to you, like, don't give me that look because it may freeze and stay that way forever?
Yeah, your face is gonna stay that way permanently. It's like, and I tried. There were a few I wanted to really, this one I could live with, but no luck.
It's just a lie. It was just a lie.
Exactly. They just wanted me to stop making that awful face. Don't cross your eyes like that. It freaks me out.
We want to say hello to our Facebook friend in Ohio. Hello, Ohio.
Hello, Ohio. The mystery user in Ohio. Welcome.
If you give StreamYard permission, we would love to see who you are so we can call you by name. And Kim is all the way from England. So that's 2 from England, your sister Priscilla and Kim. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I think these may be some special guests.
I know some of these people. I know a lot of these people. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm the Facebook user.
Hi, L'Oreal, Diana, Wendy, Victoria. E.G.
Hello, everybody.
E.G. is actually Elaine.
So excited to have you. And Janie has prepared a very special treat just for all of you.
Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Drum roll. Let me turn my volume up. Okay.
What have you got?
Woohoo! Hello. Janie Lynn, your Starseed Galactic Code activator and decoder and deactivator. Take out the old, bring in the awesome, good, and upgrade for your DNA. Here with your High Vibe Tribe.
Woohoo!
Today I am posing as Alexa, bringing you the announcement of our amazing new members. Thank you so much for hopping on board with us and joining your High Vibe Tribe, where we are pattern interrupters here to shift and uplift humanity in a massive, amazing, kind, caring, and judgment-free way.
I love the shift and uplift.
Today is actually really cool. We have 17 new members. And for you truth seekers out there, 17 is associated kind of with a certain letter of the alphabet group. So I decided to look into 17. So here we go. The number 17 is a blend of the number 1 and the number 7. When these two numbers are added together, we get the number 8, which is the number of karma. And also, as our amazing Susan Shatzer says, 8 is great. This number is a fortunate one, but also requires work on some issues from the past. This number is leading us towards the divine truth and purpose. It is also considered the symbol of infinity. So that would be 8. The number 17 symbolizes the beginning of the path to spiritual awakening and enlightenment. It signifies the development of psychic gifts and inner wisdom. It's also the number of manifestations of thoughts into form. It signifies good fortune as well. It inspires gratefulness for all the blessings of the universe. This number is highly spiritual in nature. It also symbolizes the desire for love and peace in all humankind. As you can hear, my hummingbird is chattering away today. He's so happy to be part of this.
Nonstop. He's still talking.
So people under the influence of this number have highly developed psychic and clairvoyant gifts. This number is also the number of positive changes in life, of purity and intuition. It is the number of success in life. People who resonate with the number 17 have all it takes to be successful and achieve their aspirations. This number requires you to be in tune with your talents and spirituality to be able to interpret properly the message from your guides. How cool is that? So with that, I would like to...
Okay, one more. Hold on. This one's short.
Okay.
Maya Zahira, Amanda Cosmos, Catherine Glass, Lori L, Diana Gibson Hinson, Wendy Sexton, Victoria Shaw, Eggy Breed Ramirez, Soulfire Tracy McFadden, Melanie Mundir, Tina Sediel Jansdottir, Jennifer Alvarado Gould, Alexa Miller, Veronica T. Solas, Sasha Nyala, Deborah Mendez, G.S. Gidding.
Congratulations, everybody.
Can I kick something in? Because I do the numerology of Moses. And I love how these things like overlap and interweave with each other. And when we talk about 17, it automatically brings in it's an overtone of 8, as you were saying. And so the range of experience comes from really grounded emotional experience and being able to really read the people around you. And the 17 end of that spectrum is about exploring divine service. You speak frequently with the mouth of God if you have 17 as part of your soul contract, and you explore the distinction between being in service and being in servitude.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I don't think we've ever had 17 new members, have we? I think that's a first.
First
Yeah,
was 17.
We had more than 17 and less than 17.
Yeah. Like 6
More and less. Yeah.
80 at one time. So cool. Hello.
So nice to see everyone joining us.
Everyone and everything. So nice to be here. So glad to have you. Give StreamYard permission so we can see who you are. Hello, Tammy. Love you, honey. Glad you're here. She had a birthday this past week.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Tammy Sue.
As did Janie.
Happy birthday,
Here we go. I'll get the pointing right one of these days. Janie, birthday girl.
Ashley,
oh, wow. We've got two birthday girls.
Happy birthday, Sweet.
One of our good friends, her birthday is today as well. And she's headed down to the Keys, Maria Lariva.
Yes.
And it's also Joe Biden's birthday today. So,
Oh, well, happy birthday, Joe.
how about that? How about that? Hi, Kim.
Happy birthday, Maria.
If you make that face when the wind changes, it will stay like that forever. That's what you were told.
That's what I was told. It didn't depend on the wind. It just depended on holding it too long. But yeah, same idea.
It's something our parents told us.
Oh,
Hello,
the crazy
Tammy.
things we tell our children.
Right? And they wonder why we've needed so much psychiatric help along our life. You know, and
that one's going to cost you in therapy bills later, Mom. It's like
so,
when you're choking and crying your eyes out, I'll give you a reason to cry.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have one in the moment. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I had plenty, but okay. You know, it's going to take me 50 years to unwind that, right?
Because I'll forget where I came from.
Exactly.
You know, I so have to share this with you. So my son and I, when we're feeling like stressed out or whatever happens, like I'll jump in bed with him or he'll jump in bed with me, or we'll plop down in a couch next to each other and we'll put on funniest home videos from you know, YouTube. You know, it's on that too. And we will sit there and laugh so hard at all these fun things. And we both look at each other one day like, you wonder why children are so traumatized
by their childhoods,
by the adults. And the adults are laughing at them like they think it is the funniest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. I know. Hello, Suki.
Hi, Suki.
I've got to say, Suki, you're looking pretty darn great yourself.
Hug back at you. That's
sorry, I started drinking. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. It's Friday. Well, and you're well into Friday.
Yes.
Janie is wishing everyone Suki's wishing everyone a happy birthday to Janie,
Suki,
and to Ashley. Yeah, so excited. Wow. So how did we get so lucky here today to have this amazing guest with us, ZofiaRennea? I have the honor and privilege. I was just on her radio show this past week, and we were talking about this today. And so now you're on our live stream. So incredibly grateful for you.
Likewise. I was going to say, I don't know how I got so lucky to have you as my amazing guest on Monday.
Oh, we blew it out, did we not?
Oh, it was so much fun. Oh my goodness.
And Janie, she does the same thing that you used to do when you're doing the radio, and then you're also Facebook Living it.
Yes.
So in the middle of breaks, we were like chatting it up with Facebook, and then we'd come back to radio and we'd chat it up with Facebook.
And we'd put stories on hold for like 16 minutes until the next break. Hold that thought.
We'll be right back.
Well, not quite right back, but we will be back.
In a Hawaiian minute.
There you go. I like it. So please help me welcome ZofiaRennea Morales. She is a scientific and corporate background. It appeals to clients who appreciate the way that she investigates across a pragmatic woo and life into her work. Seasoned with love and laughter, Zofia guides her clients through their own spiritual crisis and onto their paths of passion and purpose with warmth, joy, tenderness, reality, and play. Hello. Hey. So excited to have you here. And I'm sure you get this a lot, honey. Like, tell us how you got this beautiful name.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me step back and say it's not my original name. It's not the one my parents picked out. I never, ever liked the one my parents picked out. Although eventually some of it started to grow on me. And when I got into the numerology of Moses, one of the things that we do with that is we look at the soul contract. What did you plan when you were coming here? What are the energies and vibrations you're playing with when you came here? Because you incorporate all that into your birth name. And my birth name had never resonated with me. It never fit right. And so I was exploring what should my name actually be. And I was sitting in meditation one day, just open to spirit and saying, okay, what is my actual name? Because this one's not right. What is my actual name? And they said, you are ZofiaRennea. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I got up and I went and I ran the numbers on ZofiaRennea, and it wasn't right. I'm like, how is this not right? They gave it to me in meditation. It should be right. Well, I was spelling it with an F and a PH. And it was like 2.5 years before I realized that I needed to let go of like the conventional spellings around it and go with spirit, what spirit has been nudging me to, because I had a colleague who insisted on putting 2 N's in my name. I'm like, I think that's a message. Let's see what this does, right? And then I learned that Sophia is spelled Zofia in like some of the Eastern Bloc countries, if you're coming out of Poland in that area. And so I'm like, well, let me throw a Z in there and see what happens. And voila, there it was. It's like, that's it. That one feels right. So that's how I got my name.
And it's interesting, how you spell it, and the fact that you have the R as capital in the middle of your name.
Yes.
Like there's no space. It's not like ZofiaRennea. It's ZofiaRennea together.
Yes. And I did that deliberately because of the way computers work in this world, because I want the spelling of my complete, the energy of my complete name being used like on official documents. And if you put Rennea just as a middle name, it might be R, it might be absent, it might not. So I'm like, I will make it all into one name. And the R is for a little bit of clarity on where it gets divided up.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Let's see. I was given the name just about 5 years ago. And as I said, it took me quite a while to figure out what it was, how it was actually supposed to show up in this reality.
Yeah.
And I started officially using it, I would say probably, well, let's see, I was using it before I started my radio show. So that would be about 2.5 years.
Yes. Yep. Now, you're also an award-winning global strategist.
Yes. Oh my God. Back in my corporate days, I used to work for a Fortune 100 actually bank. And I did their data center strategy, some of their risk management, and what do they call it? Redundancy planning. And we were really good at eliminating problems that happened every night. And so I won awards for improvement in service quality.
That's incredible. Has that compiled over into like what you do now?
Absolutely. It's part of my soul signature to solve complicated problems and to get rid of them, not to put bandages on them or cover them up, but to like really just pluck it out at the root and get rid of it. And that's completely spilled over into the work that I do with my clients now. We don't put band-aids on things. We don't take the long way to feeling better. We go straight to the root of it. We uncover all the shit, pluck it out, and walk out of there going, why did this ever bother me? I don't understand why I struggled with this for, 40 years. Well, because everybody else was, putting band-aids and feel good on it. We went straight into the heart of the pain and pulled it out and replaced it with something that works better. And so it's wonderful. I get testimonials from clients that are like, I've never been able to stop comfort eating. And after the session today, I'm not hungry anymore. It's like, awesome. This is exactly the kind of thing we're shooting for. And now you're not wrestling with the fact that you want to eat that bag of chips. You just don't care about the bag of chips.
Right. It's like the charge is taken off. It doesn't have like a positive or a negative charge. It's like, oh, okay.
It's a bag of chips. I can take it. I can leave it. Yeah.
Okay. So I wonder how many of our guests that are watching right now, have that in their life. They have comfort eating. They have an addiction to that to help them feel better, to feel more at ease, to get rid of the anxiety.
Eating, bad boyfriends, business partners that betray you. I mean, I do all kinds of these repeating patterns, and it's like I always pick the hard way. I always pick the bad one. No. If you've got one of those problems, you need to come see me because we fix that kind of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're watching right now and you're in the audience and this resonates with you, let us know. If you know of a pattern that you may be having that kind of cycles through with you, a pattern, and some of us call it a loop. Some of us call like an old program, an old system that continues to like kick in. It's almost like the default mechanism. So we go to that programming, based on the stress level and things that are happening in our life or a trigger that may have happened. Let us know. And if this is something that resonates with someone please feel free to tag their name in the comments or share this personally with them, because we'd love to be able to get them the support that they, maybe have been looking for. And this could be what they've been asking.
Yeah, exactly. I love doing this work because it never ceases to amaze me just how physical and practical this spiritual stuff ends up being in the end. I mean, it's one of these things that you think, oh, well, we did a little bit of work on my mental body or my emotional body or whatever it is. And, oh, isn't that nice? I'll probably feel a little bit better or more peaceful, which is nothing to sneeze at, right? Okay, because a lot of us struggle to get that. But it also does things like, the knee that has bothered me forever has stopped bothering me. And so it becomes like this really palpable physical thing that you can put your hands on. And it just never ceases to amaze me how it just goes from the spiritual right down into the physical. And there you are. It's all completely tied together.
Yeah, that's where it starts. And then it kind of trickles down. We're not willing maybe sometimes to acknowledge it. Is that what you would say? Zofia, until we get the physical.
I think we are. Think we are trained. I think we're trained to think that the physical is where the causes tend to be. And then as we've come a little bit more educated or enlightened, we're like, okay, well, maybe it's something I've learned or a pattern or a subconscious something. And then we get a little more educated and it's like, well, I suppose it could be, a promise that I made to myself or someone else in this life that maybe is out of date now. And
it's not required
to contribute to it, but we're very much trained to go, tell us 2 plus 4, and if I don't see a direct connection, it's not connected. But if you go into the world of physics, for example, when things are created, when matter is created and reformed, there's an invisible tie that remains between those pieces of matter. And if you flip one around, the other one will flip around in response to it. It doesn't matter if it's sitting right there or if it's on the other side of the world or the other side of the universe. That invisible connection from the beginning remains. And it's a real scientific documented thing.
Yeah. Do you know what they call that now? What they discovered?
Quantum spin.
Yeah, but it's consciousness. Consciousness of all of them.
There we go.
James got the plane.
Yeah, so I mean, even the scientists now are coming around to, oh, okay, there is cause and effect here that we've been previously unable to identify and put our finger on, which many of the people in the quote unquote woo world have been aware of, but didn't have any scientific backup to go with it. They just would say it works, and it's a black box and you just have to deal with it. And now we're starting as scientists to get a peek into the black box, which is really cool.
Yeah, they're starting to come around. Scientists are starting to acknowledge, report, and sort of take their findings in a different direction. And it's always been that way. It's like the knowers know and the scientists catch up.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to bring Priscilla on, if you can. Oh, there she is. Okay, good. Priscilla is a psychic medium, a healer from South Africa. So Priscilla, what do you know about the spiritual realm that moves to the emotional realm that gets to our physical realm?
Well, we tend to, as Zofia was saying, is that we tend to repeat patterns, and that can come on a karmic level as well. So we can bring it from another lifetime as well. And it keeps on repeating until we resolve it. So we might not necessarily, it might not happen to us here, but we keep repeating it because it comes from a different, lifetime. And that's also important to deal with. So sometimes it can be a lot deeper than just say, oh, this happened to me in my childhood or my teenage years, and I need to resolve it or get over this pattern. So it could go a lot deeper.
Actually, it goes a ton deeper, because I've been doing a lot of work recently with some of my clients around this healing of the ancestral line. And this is not just the bloodline of the body that you're in right now, but also your past lifetimes, because we carry stuff with us, and we carry sometimes too much stuff, right? You have something bad that happens to you, and you go, okay, well, I should never go, pick up a strange cat that I don't know, or whatever, right? And so you don't just bring forward the knowledge that you might need to get to know an animal a little more gradually before you get overly familiar with it. But you might also bring forward an unreasoning fear that cats are going to scratch you, because you're trying to remember that really important lesson that you had. And that's a simple one, but there are even more profound ones that involve being hanged or burned or run over or crushed,
drowned in the ocean. Some people might have a terrible fear of the ocean, or being in the water, and have a terrible phobia and not be able to learn to swim or go in the ocean because they feel as if they're drowned. So it is, and it's unexplained things as well that come from the past.
And it's even more and it's even more profound when you're dealing with like a vow that you took in a past life. Many of us have been nuns or priests, or sworn allegiance to a particular philosophy or leader or whatever it is. And a lot of these vows, if you look at them, don't have ending conditions in them. They're like, I take a vow of poverty in perpetuity. Oh, well, that will have some lasting ramifications, won't it? And then, if you've been involved in some of the more interesting, esoteric experiences out there, like you were part of a coven or a sorcerer or something like this, now you've sworn allegiance to some really powerful forces in the world in exchange for certain things. And this kind of thing can get really perpetuated into a family bloodline. And so some of the work I've been doing is releasing these kinds of things. And boy, when you cut that away, when you take that weight off of everything, just you rise to the surface. I have a client, we did this for her family line, and I'm not going to give her name, but amazing things. The week after we did this, one of her children is in a bad marriage, and things have shifted so that the partner is now going to be out of the household. And then beyond that, her mother decided to leave her stepfather, which was a bad situation that she'd been unable to get out of. And then she had a son who has decided what his career direction is. And she needed to change her housing situation. Her housing situation immediately opened up for her. These are things they hadn't been able to resolve for, in some cases, months or long years. And you cut it out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we can go do what we want to do. Yeah, exactly. And for everybody, she did the work for herself. And it freed everyone. Yeah, Suki said that was a witch in my last life. Yes. And I work with a lot of people who had that in previous lives, and we go in and we release all of that, and it makes such a big difference.
Yeah, Suki is a psychic medium and healer also from England. So,
awesome.
Zofia, tell us about like how you got from where you were. I mean, as an award, winning, and you're a scientist as well.
Scientist, corporate, 2 + 2 = 4. I'm from Missouri. You got to show me that one.
Yeah. So was there a moment in your life or a situation or an experience that sort of escorted you out of that and into the spirituality aspect that you do now for everyone?
I will say that I did not go quietly or easily. I have a double dose of stubborn and stoic. I was raised by a Norwegian and a German. And so we're very bloody minded. It's like, this is what's the way it is and how it's got to be. And so it took a lot to wake me up. I call my story the reverse Job, because if you remember the story of Job from the Bible, they took everything away from him to see if he would lose his faith, and he didn't. And in my case, they're like, let's see how much we have to take away from her so she realizes that faith is the only thing. And so I had a period of several years where my health began to decline. No one could figure out what was going on with it. I was unable to work. My husband had been working on and off, and jobs weren't working out. And we relocated across country for a job that was supposed to be for like 3 years. And after 12 months, they went, we can't keep you with us because we've run out of money.
Oh.
The money we said we had, well, we'd actually spent that before you even got here. And so we've got this brand new house. We went into Hawk. We spent like every last penny we had in the bank to go out and do this, figuring, okay, we've got 3 years to recoup this investment. And after 12 months, gone. Okay. And so we arrived at this moment where it's like, you can't stretch zero. It's not going anywhere. We have to declare bankruptcy. And so we went down that path, which I went down kicking and screaming because, again, bloody minded. This is not how I said I was going to pay it. By God, I'm going to pay it. And nope, you're not going to pay it. And we ended up moving out of our house into someone else's condo on their good graces. We weren't paying any kind of rent for this condo because we didn't have it. My husband was working for like a pittance of what he normally makes and going back to school to get his degree. And I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I finally found a doctor who was able to diagnose what was going on with me. And I thought, oh, goody. Here's my answer, right? We know what it is. Now we can fix it. And he gave me this treatment plan that's 2 years long. And it's like weekly changes of antibiotics and IVs and IV fluids and recovery stuff. And I mean, it's a big, big, big deal. And it's going to be expensive because every one of these IVs is like $200, $300, $400. And I'm just going, oh my God. Okay. But we've got a plan. That's the important thing. And my husband did some math on it, and it was going to be like $24,000 for the first year. So, okay, we called the insurance company. All right, how much of this plan are you going to cover, right? And they said, oh, well, chronic Lyme is not a thing. So it's not quite zero. You get 60 days of oral antibiotics, and that's it. Well, and doctor visits, except that your physician is now out of network. And so we're not going to cover any of that either. And I hung up the phone just devastated. And I'm casting around in my mind, how do we do this, right? My husband's got no more cycles. He's taking care of me. I've gotten so bad, I can't make a 30-minute dinner in 30 minutes. It takes me 3 hours. And so I'm basically unemployable. I can't do anything about it. He's got no cycles to do anything about it. I'm like, let's call Dad. Dad, is there any way you can help us out? And that day, the bank of Dad was empty. And I went to bed that night, and I'm not sleeping because Lyme eats your brain. And I'd gotten to the point where my brain wouldn't go through those rest and recovery cycles anymore. So I'm laying in bed next to my husband, and my brain is like this trapped squirrel. Well, I could get a job. No, I can't make dinner. How am I going to get a job? I won't hold it for more than 5 minutes, and we're going around and around. And it was about 3 or so in the morning when I went, I got no answer for this. The solution is right out there. It's a fraction of an inch away from the tippy ends of my fingers, and I just can't stretch that far. And I'm in this rock and hard place because if I were well enough to think I could hold a job to get the money, but I can't get the money to get well enough to hold the job. So I just finally let it all go, and I said, God, and this has been like 40 some years since I've prayed to him in any form or fashion. I said, God, from the bottom of my heart, I will do anything to get better. Anything. And this little voice in the back of my head said, really? Anything? And I decided I needed to give that some serious consideration. And so I thought about it for a while. I'm going to go with the premise that, yes, I am speaking to God. And if I'm not speaking to God, well, they got nothing they can hold me to, right? And I said, yes, anything, because you're not going to ask me to be an axe murderer, hurt anybody or any of that. So anything I will do. And I got my first miracle because I fell asleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I had this clarity that I had to go get one of these clearing IVs that the doctor offered. And so I went in for the clearing IV, and he walked through the infusion room, which is something that he would not normally do. And so I called him over and explained the events of the previous day. And he suggested that I should go and see an herbalist that they had on staff. Yeah, okay. The visits are half of what it would cost me to see him. And the doctor says this guy's got really good success with parasites. And that's what Lyme disease is. So I went down that road. And as I'm going down this road, little things are being put up in front of me. Little indications that I should be working on clearing out my emotions. And so I started working with the emotion code, and the herbalist had a son who was a medical intuitive. And so I started talking with him, and he was like the only person they would let me talk. God and my guides would let me talk to for like the first year. And I started having these experiences. I started like walking into Walmart, and I would suddenly walk out with a headache. I'm like, what gives here, right? I would be looking at someone and going, well, why are they doing that? And then I would be given the information for the backstory on how they arrived at this path, that this is a sensible decision. Yeah, right. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah. I'm going to be a little more careful about the things I wonder about.
Yeah, that's crazy on steroids.
I know. And then it culminated one day. I was coming home from the grocery store because the scientist in me has been freaking out and like explaining away all this stuff. Oh, you're losing it because of the damage to your brain. And I'm becoming really good at like
hallucinating,
writing things off. And I came home. And my neighbor is helping her husband into the house. He's like 85. She's like 83. And she's staggering under his weight. You can tell he's in tremendous pain. And so screw the ice cream. We're going to get him in the house. We're going to just do what we can to help him out. Yeah. And so she says, I've got to go call the kidney doctor. Can you be with him for a little while I take care of this? And so we're in the living room. I know them to be very, very devout people. And we're standing there. I'm holding his hands. His eyes are closed and his lips are moving. Obvious conclusion, he's praying. I'm watching him in this really private moment, and I don't feel comfortable with that. So I close my eyes too. So at least he's got some privacy. And In
But
my
you're
mind,
holding his hand. You're holding his hand.
I'm holding his hands.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And in my mind's eye, I see this little like pilot light that's on the edge of going out. You know, it's how they dance and flicker right before they go. And I'm given this knowing that that is his life force, and he's literally on the edge of just, I'm out of here. And I haven't acknowledged who I'm talking to. I say, can we do something about that? And it flares up into this great, big, bold flame. And he drops my hands and he says, are you a healer? And I'm like looking around to see who he's talking to, because no.
You had your eyes closed. You were giving him privacy.
Yes, I wasn't expecting any sort of a response of anything. It was just an idle question as far as I was concerned. And his wife comes back in the room and saves me from having to come up with some kind of a response to that. We've got an appointment. We've got to go right now. Okay, so we hustle everybody back out into the car, and they go off to the doctor, and I go hide in my house. And proceed to try to justify the hell out of this and how this is nothing and nothing happened. And, you know, after 2 days, I guilted myself into going next door and finding out how he's doing, because what kind of a schmuck neighbor are you? You haven't even brought over soup.
No judgment there whatsoever.
No,
way to go. Just judge yourself. Good idea. We're good
Got me to go next door, which was important.
Very important.
And so I tapped on the door, and his wife answers the door. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Come on in. Jay has so many questions for you. I'm like, oh no,
not the response you were looking for.
No, I was expecting, oh, well, he's in the hospital or gradually recovering, or no, he's right here, fat and happy in his Barca lounger with his drink and his remote control, and he has questions for you. And so I walked in and I said, how are you doing, Jay? And he says, it was the weirdest thing. By the time we got to the doctor's office, I was feeling pretty good. And they put me through my usual round of tests. And would you know, my results came back normal. I haven't had normal kidney results in decades. Holy fuck.
Okay.
And the scientist had to sit down and shut the fuck up. This man has documentation. It's not a story that he heard about his brother's third cousin. Okay. He has actual documentation that his kidneys were failing, and now they are not failing. And so I had to really spend some time and accept that this is part of the anything I invited when I made my deal with God. I said I would do anything. Guess what, scientist lady?
I'm going to show you a thing or two.
You're going to move into a whole new world.
You didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything. You need to be very careful with what you offer.
Yeah. I keep on saying that to my clients. I said, be careful what you wish for.
You know what?
Be careful what you ask for, because it will manifest into being.
I don't regret it a moment.
Right.
But it changed my life dramatically. Absolutely dramatically. And I see a little note in the chat here that asks if I would like to chat about Black Friday specials or my survey or something. And I would love to chat about all of those things. And my survey is not yet ready. I wish my quiz was ready for today. They're putting the final touches on it. So if you would like to hear about my quiz when it comes ready, and it's about identifying what your number one spiritual superpower is. And yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah. And will you be able to post it in our group?
I will be able to post it.
Okay,
so watch the group. When it comes out, I will put it out there, and you can come take my little quiz and find out what your number one spiritual superpower is.
I've got my Wonder Woman bracelet on again.
Wonder Woman band goes, just special for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Reflecting bullets.
I love that. And I do have a Black Friday special coming up. And it actually goes right along with my quiz. It's the Activate Your Spiritual Superpowers workshop. And so if you've been thinking, oh, I'm not this gifted person, or everybody has better gifts than I do, you want this workshop, because I promise you, you've got a kick-ass set of spiritual gifts that are specifically designed for what you came here to do. And this workshop is about making those clear to yourself, because it's hard for us to read the label on the outside of our jar, right? I had no idea for 50 years that I'm an energy transmuter, and that's what I came here to do. Okay. But it took someone else reading the outside of my jar and kicking the shit out of my stubborn Norwegian mentality to bring me into that. And there are, shall I say, gentler ways to arrive at that. And so that's what this workshop is about.
That sounds like so much fun.
It is. We
So
have a blast.
do you have a link?
I will have a link for that. I'm not releasing the special yet, so you guys are getting the sneak preview.
Okay,
And
cool.
so if you would like the official announcement when it comes out, I'm in the group. You can send me a little DM and say, ooh, tell me.
Post it and also put it in the chat on this feed.
Oh,
yeah.
For people.
Oh, and the really scrumptious detail about this,
yeah,
you guys are going to be mind blown about this, right? You go to these like intensive workshop things where you're really doing stuff, and what do they run? $2,000, $2,500, right? For my founding members and everybody who comes in on Black Friday, $199.
Wow.
Yeah. Hello.
Cool.
This ain't never happening again. So
that is beautiful. And so many people now are asking for this. It's kind of like, okay, so COVID like hit the pause button, stop, the stop button for a lot of people. Everyone's been able to sit back for close to a year almost and sort of take a look at what's really important to me, what would make me happy, what will work for us, my family. And a lot of people are looking for that. Like, why am I here? What is my superpower? How can I contribute to creating a different reality? How can I uplift humanity and save the planet all at the same time? So I'm so excited that you have created this workshop, because it's exactly what people are asking for.
I love it. Because COVID has been like this, what should I say, spiritual 2x4 up the head of the world at large. It's like, sit down on the bench and think about what you've been doing.
Yes.
Just think about it. Is it the right thing for you? Is it the wrong thing for you?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to approach it differently? And, some of us have cooperated in thinking about it, and some of us are still, wrestling against it. And we're all on our own journeys, and you're going to wrestle until the moment's right for you not to.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that there's no right or wrong. It's just different. It's just
Exactly.
different. And you can choose at any time, what kind of works, for you. So Janie, I know you have been in a similar situation in the respect that like everything has disappeared. Like, you and I have talked and you've been open with this online, like everything was lost kind of a thing. And
I lost everything, including my kids. And it is still, and there's still patterns there because things keep going away.
It's hard. It's really hard. And it's hard to solve these things for yourself. I find you can do like 80% of your work, and then there's this 20% where you need someone else who can look at it and move it, or hold your hand, or be a mirror for you, so you can see. Yep, Ashley knows.
And
He's like, yep.
It's frustrating too, because it's like I can shift people's realities like in an instant.
Like that. Exactly. Why the heck can't I do it for myself? I feel you, girl. I totally feel you. It's like, if my shit's so wonderful, why doesn't it work on me, damn it?
The
know,
opposite is what happens.
It's so interesting. I fully have the awareness and knowing that I hide it from myself. Like I am the big fat liar. Like I will lie to myself like every day, including Sunday.
Yep, we're the first people we will lie to as
I
our
know.
own self.
I do it like
We'll tell the truth to everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Janie and Ashley are like my go-to people. I'm like, they're like, really? Is that real? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, okay. You caught me. That's right. I've been lying to myself again. Yes.
Hiding spot. So Janie, what happened? Because you came into a whole bunch of your superpowers.
Oh, let's hear.
Yeah. So before I went through the losing everything, I kind of like you, I went, I had a good friend who had gone into, he was in a motorcycle accident and he went through the windshield of a pickup truck. Yeah, a drunk driver hit him. He was driving his motorcycle and he was a chiropractor. So he goes through the front windshield and out through the back windshield and buries his head in the truck. And he was in the hospital forever.
Mm-hmm. Head trauma is tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had a helmet on and his helmet was no good after that. It was in like 5 pieces, but
yeah, it did its job.
But not with the rest of his body.
Yeah.
So I had just moved out here to Arizona. And so it was like a couple weeks before I got back to Colorado. And so I spent like an entire day in the hospital with him. And I was running body processes on him. And we were talking about this. And, I'm pretty sure he had an NDE because he said things and he was telling me all this stuff that was going on. And I was like, he woke up. He woke up. This is phenomenal. And
yeah.
So, people that don't understand hands-on body processes kind of, because he was married, I was married, and, people are coming in to visit him and I'm standing behind his hospital bed with my hands on his head or under his back. Yeah. And so I said, they're being kind of weird. I said, so I'll go home and I'll work on you from home. And so that night, I was asked all my questions and I was working on him and these codes came in and in the form of light. And so I was like, wow, that was cool. So I just let them do whatever they were doing and fell asleep working on him. So I called him the next day and I said, how you doing? I don't know what the heck you did last night, but because by the time I finally got to call him, it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. He goes, they made me take my pain pills like just 5 minutes ago because he woke up with no pain and everything in his body was broken.
And they couldn't believe he had no pain, which is why they forced the pain pills on him. Yeah, I have a client
friend too. You didn't call until like the afternoon. It's sort of like ZofiaRennea, a couple days went by and she didn't go check on her neighbors. So whatever you do, make yourself wrong, really wrong for the healing that you're doing for other people. And don't forget that, our audience. It won't happen if you don't make yourself wrong. Here's just 2 instances.
Yeah. Well, and you can begin to become right with it, though. Honestly, I have a client who was hit by a Mack truck. And similar sort of situation, they called her family and said, get here now. She's not going to make it. And I think she had an angel that intervened for her because I got a text from her phone from the emergency room that said, bad car accident, please help, phone batteries dying. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what it is other than it's a bad accident. So I have this like shock and trauma quick recovery process that I run. And I ran it and I got another urge to run it again. And I ran it again. And I know she's in the hospital and her phone battery is not working. So I don't expect to hear anything. And it was like a week later, I got a message from her saying I'm home. And I finally got to understand what had happened. But her Uber driver or Lyft, I forget which rideshare she was using, plowed into the back of a truck because he was using the Drive app and didn't see it stop. And so they barreled into the back of this truck at, highway speed. And she had I believe they said 3 hemorrhages in her brain. She'd ruptured her pancreas, neck injury from the whiplash and all this kind of stuff. And they did not think she was going to make it. They had her scheduled for emergency brain surgery when her brain bleeds magically stopped about the time we started doing the healing processes on her. And they're like, okay, well, we'll let her stabilize and then we'll go remove that spleen. And so I kept getting this urge to keep running that process. And so I did. And so the surgery that was supposed to happen like day 2 or 3, they ended up not doing that either because the spleen miraculously put itself back together. And I'm continuing to do the process. And they moved her out of ICU after, I think it was day 3 or 4. And they sent her home at day 7. And she's like, so this is what's happened. And they're calling me the miracle woman. I'm like, mm-hmm. And, they set all these expectations, initially when she survived that first 24 hours, they're telling her family, well, she'll probably be a vegetable, be prepared that her personality will never be the same again. Yeah. And all of this stuff that the doctors tell you.
Yes.
And, she woke up. Her personality has been the same. She's got some challenges with like executive function that's kind of more slowly coming back, but none of this shit that the doctors predicted actually came true for her. And it's just amazing what this work will heal.
Yeah, they think they know.
Here is my thing with that.
Yeah,
because you are the instrument to have it happen, to have the whole healing. How does medical science explain that or accept that?
They explain it as spontaneous remission. You hear that word a lot. And they explain it as, oh, well, she was a more robust and healthy person, and therefore her body is able to heal better and faster than somebody who maybe wasn't as active and fit and whatever, right? That's the explanation you'll get from the medical professionals. And occasionally you'll get one that's honest enough to say, and the people who are prayed for seem to recover better and faster than the ones who aren't. But that's what you'll hear from the scientific side of things generally. And what I find is the case, having walked in both worlds, your body wants to heal itself. It's a lot of the programming and stuff that we've brought in, the mental expectations that we've brought in that says that it has to be hard, it has to be long, it has to be difficult, and there has to be things that can't be corrected. And when you work from the spiritual level, you can pull those things out of the way. Yeah. And then the body does what it wants to do, which is to get better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm so grateful that we were able to have a chance to have you on today, ZofiaRennea.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And I think we've probably run over, I think you told me 30 minutes. This is what happens when you work with Zofia. you get extra.
Because prayers are so powerful. Yes, they are. Yeah. Absolutely, they are. Yeah. One of the things that we've talked about before on the show is like everything we talk about, everything we say is a prayer, and every prayer is answered. So pay attention to what you're saying and what you're talking about.
And questions are so powerful. Statements are good. I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm whatever. But questions are really what opens the door.
Yeah.
And so pay really super close attention to your questions. Because if you're asking, why does this always happen to me? Life will answer that. Whereas if you ask, how can this be better? how is this perfect for what's happening for me? Where is the gift in what's going on here?
Yeah.
Life will answer that too. Exactly. What's great about this? I know it's a shit sandwich, but there's something in here. I know.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, it has been such a pleasure. Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to do this again, ladies. Maybe we'll have to have all of you on Sovereign Self, and we'll just go back and forth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're excited that you're here and you're able to share, because not everyone is a born, they know that they're a born healer. Like many of us on that path, didn't know from birth.
Well, and some of us were shut down early.
Yeah,
I mean, in my family, my mother is very fundamentally Christian, and this shit is of the devil as far as she's concerned. No, I'm true.
Yes.
And so anything weird going on, it was like, you better shove that down and make sure that goes away, because
the devil would come for you. The devil would come for you. Yeah. No.
Yeah, well, you would go to hell is kind of the bottom line, but still, yeah. and in the meantime, everybody is going to shun you, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in that house too.
Okay. See, I'm not the only one who experienced religious abuse.
Right.
Join the club.
Yes. Yeah. Many of us can speak to that. But
yes.
It's like, what if it actually took that for us to actually be where we are today? Like we needed to have all those experiences and we signed up to have all those experiences.
Well, and I think I invited some of those experiences when I was younger, because I can remember when I was very young, and I was still very connected into the divine and part of the religious structure, and seeing how, windows would be open for me when doors were closed and that kind of stuff. I can remember thinking, I don't understand why people don't believe in God. It's so clear to me. And so then I had 4 decades in which I completely moved away from that understanding and that relationship so that I could understand why people don't believe in God.
Yeah.
And there were a few things like that from my childhood that I had these wondering moments, and it invited in, okay, you want to understand? Okay, you will understand. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to experience why. Yeah.
You're going to have it firsthand. Robin, thanks you for sharing your story. It is so inspiring for her. Yes, witches will burn.
Well, yeah, and I've got some of that in my past life, and so I know part of my mission here is to release people from the witchy stuff that we tied our hands with.
She loves
stay with your high vibe tribe. Stay with your high vibe tribe. You won't get burned.
There you go.
We'll protect you.
Exactly. They can't burn us all together.
The fire will go back to those.
So people can catch up with you, ZofiaRennea, at Sovereign Self. Where you weave spiritual awakening with the fabric of everyday life on Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America radio show. And we have the link already in the description of
SovereignSelf.live.
People can
keep it simple
out there. They can also join your Facebook group so they can catch the video of your guests at the same time. We look forward to getting that link. In the future to do your survey and also your Friday.
It might be a minute. I'm busy with the Black Friday stuff, but
your Friday.
After I get through that.
Yes, so cool. I am your Earth Empress.
Oh, I love that.
Worldwide. Woohoo! And we are here as consciousness revolutionaries to change, shift, and uplift your reality, allowing you to have different points of view about what you're experiencing. So last minute thoughts from our High Vibe Tribe members. Priscilla.
Right, last minute thoughts. healing and spirituality go hand in hand. So once we know our own spirituality, our healing begins.
Oh, yes. And it will put it on accelerate.
Yeah. Thank you, Priscilla, for that. And we have a link to your event that is coming up
on Monday.
Yes. On Monday. That's right.
Nice. What are you doing on Monday? I'm sorry.
On Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Central Time, it's going to be 4 of us on YouTube. The link is there to connect to YouTube, and we're going live. It's myself, the amazing Suki Claire, who's joined us tonight, as well as Leo Bonomo from the UK and Tara Calder Richardson from the USA. And we're talking everything spiritual and mystic, and connecting with the other side, and also learning a bit more about what it's like to be who we are as mediums and as evidential psychics and mediums. So
beautiful.
Very interesting.
Go check her out.
Oh, Priscilla.
It'll be fun.
Priscilla.
Woohoo! Awesome. Ashley, last minute thoughts before we go.
Yes, a lot of last minute thoughts. The first one, of course, thank you, ZofiaRennea, to be here with us and bring that awareness. Thank you. High Vibe Tribers, we have good news. So we have our own expert. Let me see how I can point in that direction. It's not happening.
There you go.
Susan Shatzer, our own house expert, is going to offer one of her classes again, which has been there for so many. Just being in her workshop, being in her presence is a little different, because then things just happen like that. But you get the opportunity to be in her workshop, and she's working on it now. It will be the vision questing for 2021. You may all have made a list for 2020. How many of those things on that list are really accomplished or manifested? So even if they're on the list, no worries. Have no fear, Susan is here.
Well, and I have to say, in-person remote makes no difference whatsoever. You get the same bang.
Yes, it's all about the energy with it, and the I have to say, the unique part of working with Susan or having her work with you on your visions, she has the skill to have it manifest immediately. There are a few people, but I will only mention one certain case, which is from recent. This fellow worked with her for 1 day, for 1 hour, and his whole day was booked. In 1 day, he made $4,000, and this can happen for you as well. So keep watching our Facebook post. We are posting it out there. And we also have another conference coming on in December. Is it the Spark Your Soul Retreat?
Yes.
So there's a nice posting which is coming out, I think tomorrow or something, but it's something like falling in love is okay. Having sex is better. But if you find that one person who can spark your soul, that's rare. So watch out. It's all gonna be here on your High Five Tribe. And from my end, as the breathing specialist, stay in the moment, keep breathing. If your mind takes you to the past, bring it back. That was then, this is now. If it takes you to the future, that is then, this is now. So please stay in the moment and keep breathing. And watching our posts.
Belly laughs are the best breathing out there, I gotta say. And you brought it.
Oh my goodness, Janie, take us home, sister.
I'm not sure I can top that.
She's a hard act to follow. You might want to rearrange this.
Everyone, a happy Thanksgiving for all of us.
Oh, yes. Happy Thanksgiving. That's coming up soon. Laugh a lot. I have something that I'm not going to share just yet. It might be like Monday. I had a download, and I have been creating like a mad person, not a mad person, but a happy person.
The most delightfully, divinely insane person.
It hasn't happened in so long. I'm like,
it still works.
It still works.
You know what? You were just leveling up. You were just leveling up. That's what happens, right? You got to take all the circuits in the house offline, change out the transformer, and then flick it all back on. And boy, are you going to rock now?
Yeah. So there's two things. So I'm going to announce those on Monday, probably in the group. Yeah. And so with all the family stuff that can or can't happen, breathe, like Ashley said. And like Susan said, if you are in a wonky vibration, put on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Or your favorite sitcom, or
yes,
or just watch this live.
Then
there you go. Yes, come to your high vibe tribe.
Watch this again and laugh your hiney off. And you won't care what your Thanksgiving's like because you're happy.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
So cool. Thank you, JD, so much. From all of us to all of you, have a very, very happy, joyful Thanksgiving until we get to meet you in person someday. Ciao for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Please.